All right, here we go. Welcome Jericho and Joe. This is the meeting of the Community Preservation Committee on Tuesday, March 17th, 2026, starting at 10:18. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you Irish people. Some of us are Scottish. We are on Burns Day in April. In the room A at 131 Pleasant Street. When I call your name, tell me you can hear me. Neville?
Yeah.
Tom?
Here.
Great. John?
Here.
Connie?
Yes.
Joe?
Here.
Tim?
Here.
Eleanor?
Here.
And Jesse?
Here.
Great. We have everybody here. We have established a forum. Somebody want to approve the agenda? Right. Hold on. Is there a second?
Second.
And all those in favor? Neville?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Connie? Betsy?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Eleanor? Eleanor? You're muted.
Aye.
Okay, and that's in 2 minutes and fine. Okay.
I'm an aye.
No minute. You're looking on it. Joe's going to punt now and go to AI on the meeting since June, see if we can get minutes done. That way first, without having to listen to our meetings. We have no correspondence, for this meeting. We do have correspondence for the next meeting about reallocation of funds, and we'll be with that at that time. Do you see any guests up there?
No,
Okay.
none.
And we have fund requisitions, Mariah Mitchell at 48,000. We have Linda Loring at 16,430. St. Paul's at 800. This is their big one. 830,110.90. And we have the Racket Club at 250,000. We have Interfaith Council at 56,114. Interfaith Council submits bills every month because that's how they pay their rental assistance. This should pretty much, starting to close out the Racket Club. This fiscal year. St. Paul's, that's a big nut. They don't have that much left. Linda Loring is sort of rolling along on that, project, theater, and Mariah Mitchell, I think he's, ending up closing out also. Does somebody have any questions about any of this? Yeah.
Linda, I just wanted to ask you about that 830. Like to go from 0 to that big number with nothing in between?
They don't have dual anymore, so they sort of pile it up and then they get to the end of, almost to the end of the project and they put it in. Dual used to put them in every single month religiously, but
Yeah.
these guys are just sort of holding them until they're almost done. Any other questions? Somebody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Neville,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Jesse. John,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Eleanor.
Aye.
Okay, office moves.
I'm an aye.
There you go. You over there in the corner. Our tech guy. Office move and staffing. I was mystified the other day, Joe, when somebody said they saw the ad.
I haven't had
I
a
got
chance to
call
look.
From somebody who said they saw the ad. And I'm going, where?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
We looked in the paper. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
And it's got to run for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're on the hunt for that. I don't know if it's gonna come this week. Joe, have you heard anything else?
I
Who
haven't.
would have put, would it be HR?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've still been having conversations with them. So
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
it's Tom. It's posted on the town website under jobs.
oh, there we go.
All right, it was supposed to be advertised. We paid for that.
You pay us, Madam Chair,
Yeah,
you pay for it in the newspapers.
we pay for it in the newspaper. They
Okay.
don't, but
That's
it
not
hasn't,
good.
we haven't seen it.
Yes.
We didn't know it was up on the town website.
Hmm, okay.
And it needs to go in the paper. Does anybody object to that?
Not at all.
No.
So maybe we run it ourselves if they don't run it. But you and I have to circle back on that.
Yeah, I apologize, personal stuff.
But have we even agreed on the description?
Yes.
We have?
For the most part, we don't know if they've changed it since we sent it.
Nothing I've seen. Basically, what we did is modernize a little bit, made it
Some stuff out. there.
2 jobs they had, we kind of made it 1. And then I think the one question is rate of pay. So,
I thought they capitulated on them.
yeah, and then
And the hours,
And part-time, right? Well, not part-time, 35,
30,
30.
30
flex time, because of, we're
with
always
flex time.
here certain times of the year than on others.
Ellen, I have an email ready to go to them, and we'll try and schedule a meeting. Because the back and forth of emails is just kind of time consuming, so.
Anybody else have a question about any of this?
Yeah, did the town have a policy where if there's a job opening in the town, they would first put it on the town website?
Yes,
And then if nobody gets it, then it goes public.
yeah.
But this is going simultaneously? That's
Well,
what
this
that's what I'm
is-
hearing?
It was posted on the town website,
Mhm.
which none of us saw.
Tom did.
What does it say?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so like,
Oh,
Unless
you're
Tom-
seeing it on the- oh, you
No.
can't do it from-
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'm happy to read it to you. It's pretty short if you want.
Yeah, sure, because we haven't seen it.
So it's go to nantucket-ma.gov and then scroll down to apply for a job or thereabout, whatever it says on the middle bottom of the page. Community Preservation Committee Administrative Assistant, Town of Nantucket Community Preservation Committee, Administrative Assistant, Essential Duties under the direction of the Municipal Housing Director. The Administrative Assistant provides clerical support to the Community Preservation Committee, CPC, including preparing agendas, meeting notices, and minutes in compliance with open meeting law, serves as liaison between CPC, town departments, state agencies, and the public, maintains official records, and updates CPC information on town and state websites, reviews grant applications, monitors project balance, processes invoices, and manages office operations while responding to public inquiries. Qualifications: associate degree and at least 1 year of office experience or equivalent combination of education and experience, proficiency in Microsoft Office and database/spreadsheet applications preferred, must possess a Massachusetts Class D driver's license, knowledge of municipal government and Massachusetts open meeting law preferred. Part-time, 19 hours per week, non-union, hourly rate, $30.90, $30.90 to $42.48, $42.48. Application deadline March 30th, 2026 at 4 p.m. Apply here.
Okay. Let's back that truck up. That is not what we wanted. That is not what we said. That is not what we agreed to, and that's not what we sent back.
but that doesn't fit
It's
our
nothing to
needs.
do with
It doesn't fit our
anything that
needs
we
first and
see.
foremost.
We didn't say 19 hours. We didn't say $30 an hour. We didn't say administrative assistant. And we didn't say, and we've already objected to it, and so has the state, that this person be administered by housing director. Not happening. How do we want to deal with this?
We gotta get a meeting.
All
We
right,
gotta sit
something else,
to-
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Did you say part-time? Is it a part-time position?
Anything less than 30 hours or
We
less.
we figured 30, but we said flex time in our
Yeah,
the
which they
the
did say.
description that we wrote, that we sent to them, because there were weeks that Glenna was working 25 and there's weeks she was working 40 plus,
Yeah.
right? Based on applications and all that other stuff. And the other part they're missing is Munis, all that. That's another, it's really part of that job. Where before we had Glenna and Kathy,
Yeah.
now it becomes one.
So just a quick question. So with the part-time, will that eliminate the town benefits?
No, they don't get benefits then. We pay all the benefits.
No, I understand that. I understand
It
that.
doesn't eliminate anything for us.
But excuse me?
It doesn't eliminate anything for us. We pay the benefits, we pay the vacation, we pay the medical, all that stuff.
So
They
we
pay
will,
nothing.
that's what I'm asking.
But are they gonna make us take that away because it's 19 hours? That's a
Yes,
good
that's
question.
what that's more or less what I'm asking.
We're not doing it.
Yeah.
So I think,
It's like Joe, after what we worked out and what we sent back, we never heard from them again
Well,
about
and
that.
I was delayed because of, like
Yeah.
I said, personal
But-
things going on.
This None of what we sent back is in that ad.
So I have.
And
a
we're
simple
not, they're not
solution.
hiring somebody for us. Plus, they said that they're hiring somebody, we're not.
So I think I'd like to make a motion if I could. And the motion would be, Linda, that you send an email to them asking them to take the ad down.
Can I just, through you, Madam Chair?
Well, I'm gonna hold that for a second.
Oh, sorry, good point, yeah.
Is there a second to that?
I second that motion. For discussion.
Okay, for discussion.
Well, no, I just want to ask Neville.
I didn't hear the motion. It's kind of hard to hear you guys. It's echoey in there.
Well, yeah, you gotta lean forward so that thing picks you up, but Tim made a motion that we send an email to take the ad down. Neville seconded it, and we're holding it for a discussion.
I just want to confirm with Neville, from your experience,
Yeah.
do you think we're off on the 30 hours a week with like kind of flex time? Or do you think it is a 20-hour job, a 19-hour job?
No, I think it's 30 or more.
Yeah.
Personally.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
I know you were in the office, you've seen them in years of experience.
Yeah.
Same with Tim,
Yeah,
but I just, for me, if I go back to the town, I want to say, based on someone that was in the office, your wife in the office, Glenna's conversations that I had with her, experience with her, what you've seen and how much Ken did on his own time.
yeah.
I feel that
Well,
we
we're doing that.
we hit the sweet spot for that, and so I think we're right in what we did. So
Well, I think you're absolutely, Madam Chair, if I may, the office, we're not, we started to do it and then it stopped. We're supposed to be doing things like monthly newsletters.
correct.
We're supposed to be, and I know that you were talking about it, everything, right now, I know everything should be computerized. Like, that's why we asked people to bring in this little,
Yeah,
floppy disk and all of that.
put digital, put everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everything should be on- everything
that's
should be
on there as well.
Those are the kind of job, that's the kind of work that takes place in the office. That's why I'm saying it's 30 or more hours.
Right, yeah,
That's what I'm
that's why
saying.
we said flex time.
And then it doubles up and triples up when we start doing the grant proposals and all of
Yeah.
that.
I'm sort of
So, sorry.
pissed off that we worked on that thing. It went back and forth, the job description, the hours, the rate of pay. They ignored everything we said.
But also,
Completely, I mean, not just partially ignored. It's not administrative assistant, it's administrator of the CPC office.
but I was communicating directly with State Stewart, and I was reviewing 18 and 19, I think it was 19, other CPAs and what they were doing. So I wanted to make sure that we weren't outdated, that the way it was running through the chair and the vice chair was the best way to have this, and then be working directly with the finance committee and have that separation between the town, and we have to be kind of standalone. So everything I was reading, everything I talked about after having conversations with Stewart, what I wrote down and you approved and we made little tweaks to it, I still feel like we're in the right direction in how to restructure it and modernize it, to your point of having everything digitized, which would be great because then we could make, a smaller footprint of office space, where if we do go into a town's office, we have to have our own, Xerox machine and all that stuff standalone that we talk about, but also a locked office. And I think that by where we are now, we have that entire space, but I feel like once we get this all kind of pared down, we could be in half the space. And so I think the one person working, I think 30 plus or minus hours, depending on what it is, I think is really the right way to go. And so, but you and I think really should just sit down with Libby, Brian Turbot,
They're not
and
listening to us.
no, I for whatever reason, it's getting lost in translation.
So what
And
if
so
we just,
Lost in translation, your
I
stuff was
just-
very, very clear.
thank
what
you,
if we
but
just put an ad out in the paper?
we can't do that.
Madam Chair,
There is a connection between the town.
Madam Chair, may I suggest that the chair and vice chair just set up a meeting with the HR director and try and talk this out? I don't think sending a motion to take the ad down is a really good, I don't know. It's
It's
just a little
absolutely-
adversarial. I've been copied on some of these emails, and Joe, I know you've had stuff going on, so please, I'm not, but I think that I agree. I think there's some misconnections here. And I think that maybe some of this could be resolved with a conversation.
And I think a lot of the stuff truncated.
We've been going back and forth with them for a month before this, and then they never ran the ad. Tim?
Well, Tom, with all due respect, I don't think it's adversarial, but if we got an ad out there that doesn't reflect what leadership of the CPC is looking for, the sooner we get the ad down, the less people apply for a job that isn't gonna be there. Or the terms are gonna be different. So I think it's imperative to take the ad down immediately. That's why I made the motion.
Madam Chair.
Neville?
I'll start off by saying I agree with you 100%. Gonna go back to the drawing board with them. It's something that Tom just said. I mentioned a long time ago and said no. The person he mentioned that you should go to HR. The person that hired for the CPC in the past, I would say it over and over and over again. The chairman and HR. Those are the person. Those are the only two people. When we tried to go under the auspices of with healthcare and all that kind of stuff, the only person that I dealt with was HR. It was just me, the chairman, and HR. When we involve a lot of other people, they're thinking a different way.
Yeah.
So what Tom is saying is absolutely correct. I believe that you should just deal with HR.
Yeah, we just wanted Brian Turbot
Yeah.
because he's going to be having direct communication to make sure that they understand what programs he has and kind of train them. So we weren't looking for a big team. We were just looking for just a kind of a really small group, Linda, myself, HR, and then of course, Brian. And if Libby wants to join in, that's great. But I believe we've been coming with a team attitude. Let's do this together, even though it's CPC doing its own thing, but we definitely know there is a thin line of communication or contact with a town, and it's through the finance committee. So, and
We have tried. Joe is correct. We
Yeah.
have tried. They asked us to look at the job description. We did. We tweaked it, fixed it. We put in the hours, we put in the rate of pay that we want to pay an administrator. We took the assistant out.
Yeah.
And the state was very clear. This person, we don't need anybody like Christie, nothing against Christie, to monitor anything anymore. They answer to the chair, vice chair, and the committee as a whole. We needed somebody to monitor before, but we don't now. Because we're starting over, we're gonna get this organized, we're gonna do all the stuff, fix the office and stuff. I have two different answer machines, I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff that we gotta go through. Joe and I are meeting out there on Saturday for as long as it takes to reorganize in that office. But we've tried. And they completely ignored everything we said. Everything. The title, everything, just even the title.
Yeah.
This is not an assistant to who? They're an administrator of that whole office, all the 1099s, all the stuff that's in that office, which is, maybe public record, but it's also organization's whole operating budgets and that they pay people. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean,
And it can't just be
there's I feel
really
like
nilly.
there's a miscommunication going. And I don't think there was anybody doing anything deliberate. And I think just having a conversation between the two departments.
They told us what we were gonna do.
can I
We
do,
did
I
not.
don't know if miscommunications, no offense.
Yeah.
I think it's a misunderstanding of what the position truly entails.
Okay.
Where we had two people before and Glenna was doing all, and we were basically seeing her, file 40 hours a
But
week.
didn't you write that up for them?
Yeah, we did, but I don't know what, I
That's
don't,
where the miscommunication.
It's not-
no, I think it's just not understanding the position, and I don't want to disrespect anyone. This is where I think a one-on-one conversation or a group meeting to kind of get it like back on track. So to spell out what, Neville that's why I'm glad I was able to ask you, because that's one person. I'm like, he was in the office, he knows what's going on. So this is good. He's, supporting what we're saying, even strengthen what we're saying, what we've written. So I'm feeling better about what we submitted. So
Did you want to get into misrepresentations in that email?
nope. That's,
Because we were accused of saying things.
no, we're just gonna keep it positive. We're gonna stay positive.
Go.
I'm just gonna say, I would like to tell you why there were two people in the office, but I cannot do it at a public meeting.
Okay.
Okay, but I would like to tell you why there were two.
Well, I know
So,
why they were.
But you are on the right track, and I don't think, you're on the right track, but there are certain things.
Thank you.
But the state was very clear that
Stewart was.
Stuart was very clear
Absolutely.
that Christie not be any supervisor of anybody in
Absolutely.
this office.
I'm very.
Given the $15 million in bonds that we have with the town.
Yeah, he said that it's
Absolutely not.
it's a church and state kind of.
We don't act like that, because we have a whole new thing going on, we have a whole new organization, and yada, yada, yada. And we're gonna hire somebody that can handle that kind of stuff. Not some part-time person, we don't know. So is there any other questions about it? For right now, we're paying rent. It wasn't paid for 3 months, and I've gotten it paid. So they've agreed to send me an invoice every month, which they were not doing. They said, we don't send any of our tenants out there invoices. I said, well, you're gonna be sending me an invoice.
Yeah, we need that.
Because the minute I get the invoice, I turn it to
Ryan.
no,
Finance.
Stephen Hunter in the office. And he puts them on the next thing, which is every 2 weeks. It's like, well, that's the next one. It's been various things. So we've got all our bills paid up to date. And they know what our bills are every month, you know, the Comcast, the rent, the Xerox machine, you know, the copy machine and stuff like that. So we have in water bill, so we have a very consistent amount of stuff that we pay every month.
Well, I appreciate you having to manage all that. We should have someone doing
This
that
is
for us.
not,
Yeah, exactly.
The simpler it gets, you know, an admin here, the better.
I do have to send out letters to people, that's the next thing. Letters to people that, we've got a deadline. If you want to get on the third Tuesday, it can't be like I got Wednesday, Thursday, this past week to get on the agenda. That was crazy. It was hard enough for me to figure out how to post an agenda without the help from Deborah and Maureen and Katie in that office. I never would have been able to post the thing in time correctly.
They're great. They got a great staff.
Great staff, very helpful. And
Linda?
so we're
Sorry.
just gonna, you know, keep going with what we have set right now until we get somebody else to have to do it. But it's just a pain in the ass. But I am gonna send out a letter to all the people for the last 2 years that they need to get them in by like Wednesday of 10 days before the meeting. We can't do this fire drill thing the night before it has to be posted. It's crazy. So any other comments on this stuff?
Yeah, I have a quick question, Linda, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
When we do make this office transition to the town building or whatever, do you have any idea when that's going to be?
No, because we're not giving up the office at the moment because where
Okay.
they put us is unacceptable.
Okay, well, the reason I ask is I have my office in that complex and we're looking for more space. So I might be interested in taking over that.
Okay, let's take that off.
Forget about it.
Yeah, you and Dr. Monto and a whole bunch of other people.
Okay,
Okay,
End of
thanks.
town.
Where is
Yes.
your office in there?
that's all right, Linda.
But is it?
Let's go, let's forget about
Linda,
that.
It's just, let's go.
It is-
Thank you.
We're not giving it up yet.
Okay, thanks.
On the motion, Linda? do you
Jeez.
want-
So
Things
we
not
have a
on the
motion
agenda.
table
Motion on the-
To ask the HR to take that ad down, because it's not reflective of the job. Is,
You gotta
any
do
more
it.
discussion on this? Neville,
You want the motion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Connie? Jesse,
Yeah,
Yes.
Joe, John,
Yes.
Eleanor,
Yes.
Tom?
No,
That puts you in a difficult position. Okay. Start the vote, oh, Karen. All right, I attached the letter that, you sent to Glenna. Any comments on that?
Nice job. Glad it went out.
Thank you.
Update on the FinCom meeting. Eleanor and I, went to the Finance Committee last week for our annual have a discussion about everything we're giving money to, and it was fine.
Perfect.
10 minutes, approved what we had allocated.
Thank you, Eleanor.
Thank you, Eleanor. There was one thing they did question, Eleanor, they did bring up, a couple of them did, interestingly enough, that some of the organizations that we were giving money to had enough money on their own. And Eleanor and I made the case in one or two of them that these are important projects. And we wanted to continue to support those entities. But it's gonna come up again with one or two of these.
And it's more about also the continuity, like, you know, as you have argued for instance, for the mill project or something that, or St. Paul's or any number of these historic preservation projects in particular are phased. Even the Remain project is phased. So they come in typically, and we stated this, they come in typically asking for the kitchen sink, and we say, whittle it down, phase it. So, and we pointed that out to them, that we don't always say, hey, you can have this $2 million to do this all in one fell swoop. Figure out how you can, you know, do it in a phased way, and, you know, if you need to come back, but.
Yeah, we went through every one of them, one by one, and they had the reports, and we went through it one by one, and we were very impressed about how active the CPC was, locally. They did mention that there's an awful lot going to historic preservation, but I think some of the historic preservation ones, we won't see again next year or see them for a while. Like the thrift shop, they didn't come in for maybe 3 years, and then they came in for the HVAC to protect the building, the interior. So when we did explain the sport court stuff, that they had to stockpile, because it's such a big project, but they're at the end of it, not enough money to go. So we discussed the bonds a little bit. And they were very pleased that we're helping with the Delta fields and stuff like that, so. There was a very, the 20 or not 17 that we approved out of the 20 were very varied in their scope, and the types of projects. So we are one of the most active ones in the state. We don't have as much money as we used to. We explained it 100% when we first started 25 years ago. And now we're down to, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's maybe 20% or 10% because Springfield came in.
Well, that's the other thing, Linda, that you pointed out astutely, was that, you know, the issue of funding church preservation projects, because the island is a historic monument, whereas in other communities, that doesn't tap into the resources the way it does on Nantucket because of our status.
Yeah, because the churches, because remember there was that lawsuit, I think it was in Norwell, actually, in Cousins.
Yeah, so you pointed that out to them to sort of say, well, one of the reasons the historic preservation seems inflated compared to the other categories was partially because of that.
Yeah, because the churches are considered not churches, they're considered historic structures. And the vestry got a lot of money this year because that actually is one of the oldest still continuously used churches in the country. So they need help in there because it's, you know, it's an old building. And then they built the front church, the summer church, onto the front of that thing, and they flipped that building. So there's a lot of uniqueness of the projects on Nantucket that you don't find in a lot of other towns that don't have a lot of historic structures.
Yeah, also, Madam Chair, like, when CPC started, Nantucket was one of the few, if not the only one, that accepted all three categories. A lot of the other, unless it's changed, a lot of the other towns, they only took one. They took, you know, whether it was housing or open space, one or two, but they didn't take all three. Nantucket took all three. So we do have a lot more going on here.
Well, we have more
As well.
framed Civil War structures that are lived in, not like Sturbridge or Williamsburg,
Hence,
than anywhere else in the country.
hence all the money going into historical preservation.
Yeah, so it's a very unique environment, small, isolated, but we're incredibly diverse. with the projects that we fund. Because remember, if you call last year when I went to the, thing by myself, I was getting ragged by a couple of the members about why we didn't give it all to affordable housing. It's just like that. We've got a $5 million bond, we got 3 $5 million bonds, we're gonna be paying off those bonds for a long time. Off the top of anything we have to give away to people. Other entities, and the rest of the board supported us, but I don't think we're gonna get that come. Carrying $15 million in bonds. For affordable housing. And we still have restrictions on 100% and all that stuff. Any other comments about that meeting? We got a clean bill of health there. Back to the assignments. I gotta parse this stuff out because I can't keep hunting down every one of these things. They have to go to the project manager and then project manager gets it. Whether by email or whatever. I had several come in by email because it was the easiest way for them to get to us. Given we don't have anybody in the office at the moment. Who has what? So I can just mark that stuff up. Honey, you have. No. You have the Folger building, right? Yeah. That's rename. And it's the Folger building. They don't want remain on anything. Do you have anything else? I thought you had a second one.
I don't think so. I must, Stevens.
I remember, but Stephen rarely showed up, so I don't know what he has. All right, Jesse, do you remember what you have?
Other than the rackets, no, there was something about each entrance that was like kind of non-existent.
Yeah, because Andrew's gone. Andrew was the driver.
But I mean, anything that is certainly open space type of related thing, you know, I'd be happy to help out with. But
I thought you took the Lighthouse School.
oh, right, yeah, we talked about it. I didn't know it was official.
The rain garden thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thought that was Jesse's. Okay, so I've got you down for that one. Tim, do you remember what you had?
Yes, I have African Meeting House.
Well, they're sort of not there. We're gonna hunt that down. The thing has,
I had Center Street. There was a project on Center Street. I'm not sure if it's complete.
is that the Methodist Church?
I never had that one, but I'm happy to, if you're looking for a volunteer on that.
I don't-
No, it was Petticoat Row or something.
Are you talking about the study, the old Oddfellows building?
I think it was,
Funding on that.
I think it was, a small project. It was under 100,000. And it was where Florida, the University of Florida had their,
Penn's building?
yeah. I can't recall exactly.
No, it's the Penn's building. Got several in Penn in here right now.
The other one I had, Linda, was Sanky.
Oh, Sankey's back though.
Yep.
Well, that'll come up on July 1. Okay. See what somebody,
Hey, Linda,
yeah,
you may have looked at this, but the most recent CPC project management stuff I have was actually something Glenna sent out in March of last year.
I couldn't find it.
I have it. I could share it if you want, or I could just, but like on here, Tim has MAAH restore various. So that must be
What was it?
MAAH. Is that the African Meeting House?
I think it,
Yes, that's the African Meeting House.
And then Cemetery Commission.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, and that's
So-
active. That's
Right, and that's from
forever.
2019. MAAH restore various is 2019 and Cemetery Commission's from 2025.
And you had the lighthouse. Okay, all right. What does Connie have?
Nothing on here because I don't think Connie, when did Connie join?
Oh, yeah, what does Steve have?
Steve had, yeah, so Steve had update building, 2015 update building, don't know what that is. 20
With Nantucket in mind.
Okay, oh, well, that's moot.
Okay.
2017 Nat Res Brandt. Nat
Uh,
Res,
That's probably Remains Building?
no, it's NAT RES Brandt, as in Brant Point, maybe? I don't know. And then Remain 58 Main Street and Habitat for Humanity.
Kentucky Residential.
But we don't.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Grant, what, Nantucket Residential Grant?
Probably.
I don't know what that would be.
Why don't you send that out to everybody? We'll just sort of figure out what everybody thinks they have right now, and then at the next meeting, we'll go over that again.
I think that Holly came in.
That's coming up. That's not here.
Oh, that's.
Can she send it to me and I'll clean it up, or can you print it up, or do you wanna? me
I
to
can
do-
send, I can send it to you. It's a PDF that Glenna sent us back. I guess
Yeah, but I
it's
just would
dated
like
March.
For everything for that thing.
I'd just like to get it into our files this
So
evening.
we've had nothing since, obviously, since the most recent application. So that also is something we need to deal, but I'll send this to do you want me to send it to everybody? Should be.
No, just send it to me and then I can clean it up and then we can
Send it out to everybody.
Okay.
next month update it more.
Okay, so right now, I'm just trying to figure out what everybody knows that they have. Neville, what do you have?
And I have Mariah Mitchell,
Right,
Linda
hang
Law,
on.
yeah, Linda Law.
Hold on. Brian Mitchell wasn't in this time, in the last time. Okay, Neville Richard, what else do you have?
Linda Lauren,
Hold on, let's open space. Neville, okay,
I have,
the interface,
Interfaith Council.
Yeah.
A Hospital Thrift.
okay.
I believe I had one more, but I don't remember if I did or not.
Well,
That's
this
it.
works because we gotta spread it out. Maybe just you, me and Jelly.
I don't, well, whatever I have, I know I want to keep. I didn't want
Madam
Mhm.
Chair,
Yeah,
I believe I have Mariah Mitchell and Neville has the Racket Association because I was president at the time.
no,
No.
Jesse has the racket now.
to, yeah, I didn't have that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I believe I have Mariah Mitchell because I've been working with Jason for 2 years now.
That's what I thought. Now. Well, Neville, somebody else should take it.
NISDA.
Huh?
NISDA.
No,
You have
really,
NISDA.
I have it on there.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta go
I have
look.
NISDA on there. I have NISDA as well.
Yeah, hang on.
That's the thing.
I remember.
Yeah, well, if I had not had Mariah Mitchell and Mariah Mitchell was switched on me, I did not know.
Yeah, Tom's
You know,
had
as-
Mitchell for a couple of years.
The reason why I mentioned that is because when I saw Mariah Mitchell came up with my name on it, I know I had Mariah Mitchell, but I also know they had not been getting any funding. So, but I know, but this year was funding fiscal year 26.
All right, well, Tom, you're leaving, right? What else did you have besides Mariah Mitchell?
I think that's it.
Okay. Connie, do you want Mariah Mitchell?
Sure.
That gives you another one.
He did have other things. He had Restore Hadwin, Restore Coffin, Restore Mitchell,
I'm
Facade
still
Coffin.
going with some of them, but some of them are done. So that's what Connie's gonna have to find out from them what's done.
Yeah, some of these are old.
Because what's also gonna be coming here with you guys and your projects. What's money's left? When aren't you spending? And stuff like that. We're gonna have to go through the files to find out that stuff. Brian's gonna do a spreadsheet, but he hasn't done that yet for us. As to what they think is left in all of these, and if there are any of your projects, you gotta contact them. Because otherwise, I'm gonna have to do every single one, 50, 60, 70 of these guys, not doing.
Well,
Who had the landmark house?
I was,
John?
John, I think, yeah.
I have the landmark house, that's it, that I know of.
And Hal Keen, Academy Hill, but that's,
Well, that's done.
Yeah.
Something gonna put, because they've got a substantial amount of money left up there. I did the housing authority. I did St. Paul. My long-standing stuff. Those are online. Affordable Housing Trust Fund.
I have that. I have Athenaeum Phase 4 paintings.
I gotta write this down. Eleanor.
I sent you the spreadsheet, but I'll just say it.
Yeah, but you had Affordable Housing Trust Fund and what else?
Hold on. Athenaeum Phase 4 paintings.
Hold on. Athenaeum, the ships,
Phase 4 paintings.
what is that?
Phase 4 paintings.
All right, because there's also the ship models. I don't know what's left there, so I'm gonna put you down there.
I have that as well.
All right, I don't see
I have the paintings and the ship models for Athens. So basically the Athenaeum projects.
and then you and Joe have, St.
Let-
Mary.
Let me just go down the list. So there are 3 Athenaeum projects. There are from 2019, 2021, and 2025. I have all 3. I have the 2024 Egan Maritime Institute project. I have the Affordable Housing Trust Fund from basically 2012, which is Surfside, 2019, just says project, 2020 and 2021. There's no detail. It just says AHTF. And then, and 2025 St. Mary's Structure and Rectory, Joe and I are tag teaming on that.
Okay, Cemetery Commission, where did we go with that? That was Tim?
Yep.
Tim. Okay.
Who is the chair of the town cemetery commission? Is that Ellison?
Everything's running through Charlie
Charlie.
out there at the Parks and Rec. He's the manager of that. Because we've got, I think, a couple of them that we have down.
Okay.
That they didn't know they had because they kept changing people and nobody, and
Yeah.
Catherine died and nobody did anything, but they want to do stuff. So, okay, I'll go back into the previous one too. Without the spreadsheet, I think we're sort of flying blind here.
Madam Chair, I was gonna ask for Mariah Mitchell back. So,
Well, we've got people here now. Well, you've got 4 or 5 and you've got people here with 1. It needs to be spread out.
Neville's got a lot. He's got
I'm saying, we've got,
I have,
NIFRA, Sustainable,
since you're
NISDA.
speaking out of turn, I do have a lot, but these are all old. They're all very old. And you know, and it's just a relationship there, that's all.
well,
I
Tom.
know that we
Tom-
have some new stuff.
Okay, but Tom had Mariah Mitchell for the last 2 years, and so
Yeah.
was why,
Well, that must have been
Connie
taken when I
can't.
wasn't here.
who would I give it to?
NIFRA.
She can't have it, because she's historic preservation. Landmark House, we said that was John. Okay. Well, there's stuff. We got a whole bunch of new stuff coming on July 1 that we can then spread out again.
Exactly. Exactly.
I thought the Ellen Gardens was part of the new stuff.
Excuse me?
No.
I
they
thought
got money
the
this-
lighthouse was part of the new stuff.
They get money as of July
last-
1.
Well, why don't we,
So then she'll send that out. I'll put this into a chart, or I'll put it into her chart, we can clean it up.
Maybe a little more detail would be nice too, honestly, because some of the descriptions are, some of them are fine, but some of them are like, you know, public access or the abbreviations, I don't know what they mean, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we'll go through the files, and what we can do is we can pull out, guys, this is gonna pick up only you and not the rest of us. That's what that thing does. What we can do then is get the project managers a copy of the actual what they are, what the scope of this stuff is.
Yep.
Because part of what you're supposed to be doing is going through when they submit something, they have to have a copy of the check, they have to have the invoice, they have to have the correct, you make copies for yourselves too, do it by email. You have to have a copy on the form. It says how much they were granted, how much they've already used, how much they're asking for, and what's left, kind
So-
of thing. You gotta make sure they all match.
And regarding like the racket sports for the 250,000.
I went through that.
So this, oh, that's what that.
I've got stuff
Yeah, I
that
saw
people
the
sign in
emails.
here.
Saw the email,
Yeah,
so
I
that,
sent you that.
so that's already, those copies of those checks have already come in and the invoices have been
Yes,
submitted.
they have to pay for it up front. Rental assistance is a little different, but they have to pay for stuff up front and show you the copy of the check and the invoice.
So really,
And
all
it
I
has to match everything. I've had a couple lately that don't match the actual sheet because they just miscalculate.
so what I really have to do with the racket sports is just balance it out with the
With the
spreadsheet.
spread, with the sheets. Yeah,
Okay,
they look like this.
and that'll be provided to me when that's done.
They're supposed to provide it to you. We don't fill them out. They fill
No,
them
but
out.
you said you would, that, I forget who it was going to do the accounting.
I hand it in to them and they pay them. But we have to, all the project managers have to look at them to make sure that they balance. with
But if
what's on
there's
that
money
front
left
page.
over,
They have, that's noted here.
okay, all right,
And
sorry.
as Neville pointed out, some of these things are going on and on and on. So they're gonna have a carryover every time.
Mhm.
It's when they haven't spent it or the project's done, which is why we have to hunt back for everybody that has money. Is your project done? And then we missed the boat this year to get the money back. But we wanna get all this together by the fall. So we know how much money's coming back.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Madam Chair, that we're not trying to shoehorn this in for this town meeting.
No.
Because with lacking staff, I think we should proceed kind of slowly here and get the office squared away before we start looking into.
Yeah, and that was something that Eleanor can back me up on this. That's something that came up actually at the meeting because they had a placeholder in we're Article 33. They had a placeholder in Article 34 for return funds. We haven't done that for quite a while, so I hazard a guess if I go back into 24 and 23 and 22, we're gonna find more, but I gotta get that spreadsheet, which is my next stop today.
Yep.
And see what's left in there, because there's quite a lot of money left in there. More than what was shown on Glenna's spreadsheet. So I'm gonna hazard a guess that we're gonna go with what we've got in the computer that
Okay,
has
so
been spent.
that's what I was referring to, that spreadsheet that you're referring to that you need to get. That's what I need to go, with the racket sports, you're gonna give me that number and I go to them.
You don't need to, they're right on point.
Okay, okay.
They're gonna give you all those figures. The first line is how much was approved, and they have to put down the FY year. I had that problem last week with one of the other ones. They didn't put down, they just said 26, and said, no, it's 25. Then the balance forward, then the disbursement amount requested for this one. And then the balance due, and they didn't fill that out right, I fixed it. But there's zero in this one, because they were spending all of it.
Okay.
So they don't have balance due, that's what's left. So we might want to tinker, Joe, with this form,
Yep.
make it a little more user friendly.
Yeah.
But it's,
There's a couple things that
it
we should
confuses
do.
people. Because they never put down the right project name, you know, and all that stuff.
Fiscal year.
Yeah, fiscal year is an issue, so I'm gonna do a little.
Maybe the contact person, like make it a landscape so you can add a column. I think the contact person for the project would be good too,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
or an info. Just because if, for instance, somebody, God forbid, takes ill or something and we need to take over, at least we have the spreadsheet we can go to as kind of a key.
yeah. So when I get this thing and we verify it with Brian, so how much is in there, where it's coming from. Because when we do get money back, it's going back into either open space or wherever it came from to begin with.
Yep.
The only money that goes back into, we're gonna have a substantial amount of that money. The only money that goes back into undesignated is what's left after that 200 grand we have to pull out every year. It's what's left after that. So that's coming back into undesignated because we don't have an employee right now. And our bills are pretty minimal. So I foresee probably half of that coming back to us to go back in undesignated reserves, which will start building that up. So, and then if we're conservative on the figures, there could be more coming from the state because a lot of times they'll do a supplemental. And so we get more money back. That will go into undesignated reserves. So, and the interest, we were light on the interest, but it's usually over 100,000. We went to 93. So I will, well, it'll go back in there. So Neville,
Yeah, Madam Chair, before you got that far, I want to find out something. You just said that the spreadsheet that we're gonna be using is not the one that we have in the office, it's the one that we're gonna get from,
from Brian, because they do
Right.
not match.
so which one is correct?
Brian,
You sure?
that has to be correct because they're the ones that are paid out of our account.
But if he misses a payment, or if he doesn't make a payment, it's gonna show as positive in the next one.
No,
I would think if,
these are already being taken out.
Yeah.
All the new stuff is being
That's
taken
right.
out.
Because the reason why I was asking is because one of my things today was to ask for a spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet, but I don't have all the items on my spreadsheet that I had gotten,
He has them all back.
that Glenna was sending out.
He's got them
Well,
for 10
so-
years. He's got them
So
for 25
I would like to
years.
have one. I know there was one that was kept in the office, but if he has one that goes back that far, I know it must be a book by
And hers
now.
didn't jive with his.
Yeah,
We can
Yeah,
tell that-
I want to chime in just to piggyback on what Neville said. I had asked a while back for two of my things. What it was available, what had been spent, and didn't make sense. And I had to actually talk to finance and you got to double check stuff. It was a little hard to figure out what had been spent, what
Right.
had been truly allocated. So it's worth
Yeah.
double checking.
He does have every single project and what's left in every
Yeah.
single project for 25 years. So
Yeah.
that's what we need.
and the other thing, my third part of that, part three on that was, we give a report to the state every year in terms of what we spend and all of that. Does the state have the same amount that we have or Brian would have? Because I tend to believe that the state has us with a lot of money, because we haven't reported to
Well,
accurate.
I don't know, but they are going to deal with the state reporting.
Okay.
We're not,
Well,
because it
finance
just takes it
department-
right off of what's been spent.
So the finance department is gonna deal with the
Yeah, he
state.
said they make the reports to DOR all the time. So they're set up to make the report because they have the financials right there in front of them in that computer. Because if it didn't get paid, it's not gonna be in that computer.
And
So all this stuff
DOR,
is in there.
and DOR will send whatever figures he has to the CPC, to the CPA people. So they will have the
I don't know
figures.
what happens once it
Well,
leaves.
that's what I'm saying, that's the reason why.
The
all that-
DOR does what it's gonna do.
That's why we did not give it to the DOR, we gave it to the CPA. That's what I'm saying.
You're required to give it to the DOR
Yep.
every month.
That's fine, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's going to go to the DOR where it's supposed to go.
So we're
We could get
gonna,
it.
so we're not gonna be doing that report anymore,
No,
okay? You know, I'm just gonna say it for the record, I think that we will be at a detriment by not doing it ourselves. I'm just gonna say, just to be on,
if their figures at the finance department don't jive with what she had, that's a bigger problem. We have to be accurate when we report to the DOR, and all of our financials are in his computer.
I understand what you're saying, I'm saying something completely different.
I know,
We are responsible for one thing here as a committee and our administration, to giving a report to the CP, to the community preservation up in the Capitol. We give them to them. We do not interfere with what the town does with the DOR. That's a whole different thing. What we do. And that's the discrepancy I was seeing in the amount of money that they have us having. And you and the vice chair speaking to my man up there, I would suggest that you ask them, well, how much money do they have
I've
us?
got that on there, because
Okay.
we have all intent of
Yeah.
talking to them this week.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons.
He's very good at those things.
Yeah, Madam Chair, if I could just pick up on that, I think that's a board decision, a committee decision, whether or not we want to stop. What has been a traditional report of the CPA. If we decide it's not necessary, that would be one action. If we decide we want to continue, we ought to have that discussion, so.
It's a legal requirement. We're not discussing about whether or not we follow the legal protocol. Just so you know. So
Well,
what we'll do is we'll ask Stuart, what do we need to give you versus the DOR?
Right, perfect,
Because
that's
no
all.
longer is the TCP office going to do the DOR.
That's all I'm saying.
I think we're all in agreement, we're just saying it a little differently.
I would agree.
But we don't need a vote to follow the law.
Well, I wasn't making a vote, what I was suggesting is, it should be a board decision if we want to stop something.
Right.
No, it doesn't. If it's required, it's not a.
Two
board
different
decision.
things, Lynn.
Stop doing
Two different things.
CPA.
Two
We're
different,
gonna ask Stuart, what is the protocol?
Yeah.
Period. And then we're gonna follow that protocol.
which I assume we've been following since we were constituted,
I don't know.
let's hope.
So we got two different things going on.
Well, from my experience, Madam Chair, from being in the office, having the office, setting up going all the way back there to when who was there before me, we've always reported to the
Who was
The
there?
CPA.
before- There before you.
the only one who was there before me for a minute because they were on the committee was
Rich Brennan,
no, it wasn't Rich Brannigan, it was Barry Rector used to go on his spare time to do the office. And that's when the office was down on Easy Street.
Easy Street.
And that's when I left the CPC committee. I did not go up for another term, and I took over the office. And I set up the office. I started to set up the office there.
Where? Can't-
On Easy Street, right next to the real estate place. That's where we set it up.
totally forgot
I've
we
been
were
there for
in that
many, many, many years, and then after that, we moved out. But in all of that, in terms of how the office was and how it was set up, and who hired who and who did that, blah, blah, blah. It was, I was there for all of that.
I
So
totally forgot
that's
we were
why.
on Easy Street.
And that's what happened to
Was
Noah.
Bob Champion's building, that new building?
No,
So I just said-
on East Street.
On Easy.
Yeah, next to Killen,
Ah,
and it was a shoebox.
ah. Oh,
Yeah,
Ray
Nice
Kelce's old
change.
tobacco shop.
they're trying to put us back in.
A lot of people like to have offices in town. It's so hard to get parking, in the summertime.
It's very hard to access.
Well, there's only one person in the office, you know, there was not a, you know, like there when I was there in the office by myself. And then when I saw other things were happening, I hired people that's for the summer or what have you.
All right, there's another thing I want you to consider for the next meeting. Move the deadline. We have found painfully the last 2 or 3 years that first Friday of the month was deadly because everybody's nutso over the summer. During COVID, we got what, 5 applications because they just couldn't get together. It was too difficult to do the applications. And it's right after the summer, it's right after Labor Day. And the reason why we had it so early was because we used to put our own warrant article. Because we got into a battle one year, never will remember this, over the snow machine in Dead Horse Valley. And after that, we stopped asking the select board to put it in for us, because we didn't want anybody monkeying with the CPC allocations. And I got into a battle on town meeting floor, and we had to withdraw it, and we had to allocate the money someplace else. So to avoid that, we always put our own in by the middle, obviously, the deadline's the middle of November. We don't have to do that anymore. The selectmen take it up in January, FinCom, February, March now. We don't have to put that thing in on our own end. So we can give them a little bit more time to get their acts together, away from Labor Day, away from the summer, so they can breathe, because I've had that discussion ad nauseam with people. And just start thinking about moving the deadline. It's not on the agenda for discussion.
Are you speaking about the deadline for handing in
Yeah,
requests?
but we don't have that deadline anymore for the middle of November, where we had to compress all of our hearings. So start thinking about another date. We can move it further into September, and I'll be on the agenda for the next month. Anything else? Anybody? The next meeting is April 21st, 2026. Now that is the middle of school vacation week. Is that interfering with people that still have kids in the school? Eleanor?
Oh, no, my kids are, I'm empty nest.
Oh, my God.
Well, I have one in college, but it doesn't interfere for me, but there are might be Jesse, I think, and
My daughter's graduating from nursing school, so I'll be in Utah.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Maybe this time you'll be there. I can't think that far out right now.
That's a month away, Jesse.
Well, I mean, there is no, there's not anything going on for school vacation, but for other travel
Does that
purposes.
impact you at all? Hospital, Tim? Neville?
I'm not sure.
Joe, your kids are off on.
I'm good, and I just
What do you
sent,
mean off on?
I just sent everyone an invite, calendar invite, so reminder
You're so.
from me, but you all get it. So now it's in my calendar and hopefully just,
When are you leaving?
What?
When are you leaving?
he's on mute.
You're on mute.
Oh,
Who, me, Tom?
When are you leaving?
I don't know yet. I should be around for that meeting though.
You keep threatening us. You're leaving before town meeting. Yeah. All right, so I'll be, I should be here, but I may still be in New Jersey, but I was on Zoom the last time, so. All right, April 21st, it is. It's on your agendas too. Okay, does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn at
11:16.
11:16? Okay, Connie, is there a second?
Sure.
Second. All those in favor? Neville,
Yeah.
Tim,
Yes.
Connie, Jesse,
Aye.
Joe.
Yes.
John,
yes.
Eleanor?
Invisible man.
Yes.
I feel like a town employee or something. Jesus.
Aye.
Linda's staff member.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy Easter.
So long.
Happy
St. Patrick's
St.
Day.
Patty's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
Evacuation day.
yes. 2%.